what's up, peace and blessings? I'm Jovhannah, the spiritual love coach, coming to you with this week's energy card reading. The card that I pulled was Evolution, and I thought that this was a really great card for right now, especially when the Kuan Yin Oracle card that I pulled yesterday was talking about the Phoenix and rising and, you know, going through challenges, shedding all of that stuff so that you can rise, rise above. So here we see this person, and if you look at them, it looks like they're kind of broken a little bit. They're kind of dark, and then there's some light coming through, and then it looks like they're kind of, maybe shed something right here, and they're kind of just going through like a change, and then they're back up and they're walking and they're active. If you can see, like, they're illuminated, and then look at that, they have their wings and they're taking flight, and you can see the light emanating from their heart area where the heart chakra would be. And I think that's really beautiful, and you can see like the aura around them. They are lit. So this is Evolution, and it's a storm card, so you can see like the lightning strikes back there, which just means it's a lot of energy going on. And we all know that evolution is change, and that's represented by the stone herderite. That I know I don't have. So yesterday it was interesting because I did a live reading in my spiritual love circle, and I posted that video, but the card was the daughter of Phoenix, which is Kuan Yin. I love her cards. They're beautiful, and they carry this really loving, compassionate energy. So what's awesome with these two is that, we're going through changes, but it's showing that we're going to rise again. And it's so funny because I did this reading yesterday in my group, and today as I'm filling out my calendar, on the bottom it says, what did it say? Something about the Phoenix always rises like stronger and more beautiful than before. So there was another mention of, the Phoenix rising. And in my own personal tarot reading that I did, something in my life in particular is going to fall apart. So something is going to happen in my life within the next couple of months or so. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it may be a little chaotic. And I think that's why I keep coming across like these messages about the Phoenix and then evolution for myself personally, because there's going to be a big change, and I just need to be prepared. And also I need to be aware that on the other side of that change is going to be something beautiful. Change does not scare me. Sometimes it irritates me, like stupid changes, like changing seats at work, things like that. I go with the flow, but it irritates me because it's unnecessary. But I've been through so many things in my life that I actually embrace change because I know there's something better. And a lot of times we get into a place where we refuse to grow, we refuse to change, we refuse to let go of things that don't serve us because we don't know that there's better. We think that what we have right now, like that's it, that's the end all be all, and that's never actually the case. There is truly something better on the other side. So I've got my handy dandy Crystal Path to Self-Knowledge, the Crystal Ally card book that actually goes in and explains the cards in depth. I love this deck of cards. So, and a lot of times because I really focus on relationships, and because life really is one big relationship, right? We are relating to ourselves, relating to other people, and also to the world around us. But we usually don't see it that way. When we think about relationships, we only think of like dating, marriage, and not actually how we move about the world and how we connect to ourselves and the connection that we have to people outside of those intimate relationships. So I'm going to touch on how, this evolution and everything also plays into our relationships, because you might see this playing out in your life. And in fact, there is actually, now that I'm saying it, I'm getting this message about my own life and a relationship that I let go of kind of fairly recently, but not really. It's, I'm coming out, like if you see down here, it's kind of like ashes. You can't really see like what's going on down there. It's kind of dark. And because it talks about the Phoenix, if you look, that's kind of feathered right there, almost as if, you know, she may be transformed from, you know, like a bird. It looks kind of like a wing. And I actually did not notice this until like going back and looking at the card. But it just shows her rising above whatever all this mess is down here. And you can see that, you know, her crown is illuminated because she's enlightened. She's grown from whatever, okay, what, my lights just flashed. Yeah, that threw me off. All this energy in the air. So she's grown and evolved from whatever's happened down here. And this is basically the same thing that this card is stating, because again, we're talking about rising and flying, and the phoenix, as you know, is a bird. And here again, we have someone flying and they too are illuminated. So this message is like running deep. Okay. Back to this. Oh, so this is really awesome. So it's also talking about thought, and looking back at the card with the purple and the teal, then yeah, I do see that, the thinking process, like where he's kind of sitting, evaluating things there. Okay, so let me just read what it says here because I'm all over the place. So in the image, we see how humanity is progressing from unawareness and closed mind and spirit to that illumination. So remember, we said we had a broken person here, and then boom, now they're illuminated and they're flying high and they are just radiating with light, beaming out. It's because that they are evolving into a more spiritual being. And that's the energy of Herodite. And I wish I had that stone. I'm sure I have a picture of it somewhere, but I'm gonna have to look it up because I don't have that one. So its unique energy embodies the essence of the power of thought, which is really awesome. And that ties back into the whole Phoenix Rising thing, because we have a choice. We can choose to let go of the things that are holding us back and not serving us and move forward, or we can choose to stay there and never rise. So anyways, let me get back. So Herodite is actually a rare mineral, and the frequency of that stone actually activates the latent areas of the brain, which talks about like your memory, your psychic abilities, and they call it mental gymnastics, and it's allowing us to express the divine within us. So basically it's elevating your thinking. It's giving you a higher frequency, higher level, deeper level of thought. So when you're aligned with the universe and you're actually employing the powers of your mind, you're activating a new phase of your own human evolution. So think about it like this. Every time we learn something new, we grow. When we stay stuck in old habits and thoughts and beliefs, we don't grow because our perspective hasn't changed. So imagine if we all had like 18th century perspectives here in 2018, things would be a little crazy. So as we learn new things, we have to evolve with new things. And that also helps us to grow and to become better people for ourselves, and then we can relate better to other people. And one thing I say too is like, okay, so we don't know people, right? And typically what happens is people start chatting about this person and like, oh, okay, well, I don't like them because they look stuck up or whatever the case may be. So then maybe you get to talk to them later on and you're like, oh, wow, she's really cool. She's just quiet. I get that a lot. I get that I'm stuck up and I have an attitude, and because I'm quiet and I'm very reserved in certain situations just because I'm an intuitive and an empath, and I just don't really rock with a whole lot of people because everybody's energy is not, everybody's not like, doesn't have good energy. Some people are into different things or whatever the case may be, but I just stay to myself, and people make assumptions based on me being quiet about myself instead of getting to know me. But once they get to know me, then their thoughts can change because now they have more information. They're not operating from a limited perspective, so they can choose a different way of thinking and being. I don't know why I use that as an example, but whatever. So so it's showing that we're completing a cycle of learning and we're returning to a level of mental and spiritual ability. So it's really just showing evolution. So we've learned a lot. So now it's time to change how we think and how we act and how we move in the world. So Herodite has appeared to aid us in initiating this evolution of the body, mind, and spirit. Its frequency stimulates and initiates the brain, and also acts to stimulate pre-encoded triggers that will help you to evolve into this new phase. So Herodite speaks of evolution in our bodies, our relationships, and our creation. So this can be a whole transformation, on different levels. So be looking for areas of growth and change in how you take care of yourself, in your relationships, in things that you create, in your family. Opening yourselves up to this vibration helps you to accept responsibility to allow that transformation and emerge into that light being. And because that is your birthright. You have a beautiful spirit, and you have the right to evolve and to grow and to shine your light bright, just like they are. So that can be you, that little, that light being, that butterfly, that spiritual, that evolved person. That can totally be you, and it should be you. Evolution is defined as a motion incomplete in itself, but combining with coordinated motions to produce a single action. Interesting. So every day we're producing single motions through our choices, through our actions, through our thoughts, through our habits. So we combine those to make a single action, and that helps you to evolve. So Herodite's coming to unify the force in this action, linking our minds, our hearts, and our energies to human evolution. All right. I really like this card. This is really interesting. So when Herodite appears as your ally, you're being asked to acknowledge your part in the total evolution of humanity at this time. I want to talk about why that's important, especially for women, because there's a lot going on where people are being held accountable, especially men. A lot more women are coming into positions of power and speaking out about things like sexual abuse, trying to protect children, and just there's a shift going on in the world, and we're all a part of it. So acknowledging your part in that evolution is really important, because everything that we do sends out a ripple effect in the world, whether we know it or not. The smallest thing, it's like a drop in the pool, and it ripples out and it affects everything around it. So if your thoughts and your actions, your beliefs, are they moving you to a higher state of evolution? Are they helping you to grow? Is it beneficial to you or other people? Like, is there maybe some habit that you're holding on to that you don't know how to let go of? Like, you want to let go, or you don't know if you should let go, you don't know how to process that. If it's not moving you to a more positive state of being, or then that's something that you really want to reconsider. Because if it's stuff from the past that needs to be changed or removed, what can you do so that you can get to that higher level? So you want to know if find out, like, are you operating from a past point? Like how our computers, they create these restore points, so if something goes wrong, you can always go back and reload where it was before. Sometimes that does not serve us. So if you are continuing to operate from a restore point from like 7 years ago, and you haven't matured or grown in your thought process to where you are today, that's what this is wanting you to do. It's time for you to evolve. It's time for you to grow. So with the Storm Element card, again, I talked about how that's like a lot of energy. It's a time of change. So when it appears, it's telling you that this time it's directed towards your thoughts and your actions. So more than ever, it's time to start thinking positive and start speaking positive things over your life and over yourself. If you're constantly telling yourself negative thoughts like, I can't do this, or I don't have enough money for that, or I'm not smart enough, I'm not beautiful, it's time to stop that narrative. It's time to start speaking life. Get in the mirror, look at yourself and say, I am beautiful, I am smart, I have money. I deserve to have money. I deserve to have good things. I'm a kind human being. I send love and peace into the world. Start doing those things. Start speaking life. If you do have a lot of negative thoughts that you're processing or dealing with, write them down in a journal. List out all the yucky stuff. You can like scribble, write as big as you need to, use as many pages as you need to, and then set it on fire and release those negative things. Go back and write some affirmations to help you to start to speak positive things over your life. A couple things that will help you are Reiki. Reiki can help you to remove and release that energy, and also help you balance your chakras and bring your energetic center back into alignment so that you can start to experience a higher vibration and get out of that stuck energy that you might be experiencing. So in your heart, you may already know what it is that you need to do. Like me right now, I know what it is that I need to do. There's some things that I need to heal. There's some things that I need to start doing in my daily life to take better care of my body. And I've had this urging for a very long time, and I can tell like now it's just like, okay, do it. Like there's no more waiting. It's time to do these things, because if I don't, I'm not going to grow and I'm not going to evolve. So Spirit is here to help you. So you can ask, pray to God, pray to your angels, your guides, your ancestors, divine source. No matter what you choose or whom you choose to pray to, get that spiritual assistance so that you can evolve and go to the next level. And once you accept that guidance and take those steps, then you'll start to send out those positive ripples into the world and have an effect on the people around you and move us all together in spiritual evolution. This was a pretty deep card. And it's probably one that I'm going to meditate on. Because like I said, I know that there are some things that I need to change so that I can get to the next level where I desire to be in life. So the affirmation that you can say and kind of meditate and sit with is, I allow my physical self to align with my higher self now. I allow my physical self to align with my higher self now. I allow my physical self to align with my higher self now. And that is so powerful, because, and it's so funny because a friend of mine did a reading for me, and she was like, you're not doing what you're supposed to do. And I was like, you know, you're right, because I've been resisting doing certain things, but I've also positioned myself in a place where I can no longer like not do the things that I know I need to do for myself, which is make sure I'm doing yoga every day. When I don't do yoga, I'm not as balanced or centered, and I can feel like just energy stuck in places, and it throws off my Reiki practice. For me doing Reiki daily, it just throws everything off. Yoga is a very, very big part of my life, my healing, my transformation, my growth. So that's something that I really want to get back to. And I know like, okay, I've tried to do it on my own and I do pretty good, and then I'll fall off. So now I am volunteering at a yoga studio. So I'm in the place to do the yoga. So there's no excuse. And I know once I start to do that, I'll get back on track with my healthy habits, healthy eating. I've been doing really good because I've been taking more smoothies. I started doing a chlorophyll drink in the morning and in the evening, and just really getting back to loving me on a deeper level. You know, I use my oils every day, so it's just more of a holistic thing where I want to get more body care in for me. And I know that will help me out in a lot of ways, because our bodies are our temples and we need to treat them with the utmost care and respect. And for me, it's keeping my body clean so that I can receive divine guidance and get the messages that I need to give while I'm doing my healing, Reiki and readings and coaching and things like that. So I just want to show you this card again. Herodite is calling you to evaluate your thoughts, evaluate your actions, and call in spirit to help you so that you can evolve and level up into your highest self. So I hope that you enjoyed this reading. I know I did. I talked a whole lot today, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you again soon. If you want to I invite you to join me in the Spiritual Love Circle. It's my sacred sister circle, so it is a group for women. I post different questions and prompts and started doing a Soulful Sunday where I do a reading from my Kuan Yin Oracle card deck. These cards also have like visualizations and mantras and things like that. So I want it to be active, so we'll probably start to do those activities together, and maybe I don't know, we'll see. We'll see. I might tie it in with the spiritual love line or something like that so we can all like talk and communicate with each other. So I'd love for you to join me there at bit.ly/spiritual love circle. Until next time, peace.